All right, back with a few more defensive use of a firearm incidents for you. I believe I got 6 of them for you today. We're going to start in Chicago, Illinois, where we have an adult male 30 years old who was injured, an adult female victim who was 52 that was injured, and our suspect is a 27-year-old male. And all of these stories from Chicago never seem to get news reports, so you have to go straight to the Chicago Police Department report. A male and female were in a parking lot when they were approached by an unknown male offender who produced a handgun and fired several shots at both victims. The offender dropped the handgun, and the male victim picked it up and fired at the offender one time. The male victim, 30 years old, sustained a gunshot wound to the right thigh and was transported to the hospital. A female victim, 52, sustained a gunshot wound to the left shin, was transported to the hospital. And the male offender, 27, sustained a gunshot wound to the right glute and was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Area 2 detectives continue to investigate the incident. So this is something that only happens in Chicago. These guys are just standing there. Some dude walks up, he shoots him, he drops his gun, they pick it up and they shoot back at him. There isn't even a news article on that one. It's just the Chicago Police Department report. All right, let's just go on to Houston, Texas, which if you watch these videos, I really believe almost every single time I do one of these, there's an incident in Houston to report on. And this one we have a victim that was killed, Arkavious Parks. It was a male victim, adult male victim, and we have a victim, 26-year-old female who was injured, and a security guard. Another victim was unharmed, and then our suspect, 31-year-old Demontez Sharp, he was injured and arrested. So let's see, an investigation is underway after a man was killed during a triple shooting outside of an after-hours club in a Leaf area Sunday morning. Investigators say the shooting stemmed from an argument about a fender bender in the parking lot of the Vienna Lounge about 5 a.m. When deputies arrived at the lounge, first responders pronounced the man identified as Arkavious Parks dead at the scene. That was our victim. And Parks was attempting to intervene on behalf of a friend who was arguing with a male suspect in the parking lot. The confrontation escalated, and the suspect took out a gun, allegedly shooting and killing Parks. That's when deputies say a security guard opened fire on the suspect, striking him several times. The suspect took off but stopped by a nearby residence to call for help. He was detained by deputies and transported by life flight in serious condition. The suspect was identified as 31-year-old Demontez Sharp, and he would be charged in Parks' murder. According to HCSO, the guard who shot Sharp is cooperating with investigators and is not being charged for his role in the shooting. Deputies said a 26-year-old woman was also shot while trying to run from the gunfire and drove herself to a nearby emergency clinic. She's expected to be okay. Authorities warn community members that after-hour clubs are hubs for a lot of criminal activity. So, wow. So that starts off, there's some fender bender that the shooter and this woman get in, and this guy that ends up dying, he steps in to try and fix the situation. He ends up dying. Security guard ends up taking care of the situation and shooting the original shooter, who takes off, and everyone ends up in the hospital. All right, let's go to Charleston, West Virginia. We have an adult female, 39-year-old Leslie Bsharah, and that was a victim. And we have a 51-year-old male victim, Mark Owens, and our suspect is 45-year-old Troy Ratcliffe. So let's see, Charleston, West Virginia. Police say 2 people were shot and another man suffered a head injury in a relationship-fueled domestic dispute. I like that, relationship-fueled. All right, police say Leslie Bsharah and Mark Owens, both of Charleston, were together in a residence on 7th Avenue when Bsharah's former boyfriend, Troy Ratcliffe of Charleston, showed up. Police say a fight broke out and Ratcliffe took a baseball bat and started hitting Owens in the head. Police said Ratcliffe then took a gun out and threatened to kill Owens. Owens was able to grab the gun and shoot Ratcliffe in the stomach, but on the way The shot also hit Bsharah in the shoulder. Investigators said they won't charge Owens because he was acting in self-defense. They have charged Ratcliffe with malicious wounding and wanton endangerment. All three were hospitalized, and Ratcliffe was in serious but stable condition. Bsharah and Owens were in stable condition. So, women, when you date somebody that's crazy or that's a potential killer, they're in your life forever. They often don't go away. So, when you leave them and you start dating somebody else, you put not only yourself but that other person in danger as well. Because these guys are a part of your life. Once you date them, they're a part of your life. And this is just a case where the ex-boyfriend decides he's going to go, bust up the new boyfriend, and, this is what we end up with. All right, we'll go to Jacksonville, North Carolina, where we have an adult male victim and an adult male suspect who was killed. This looks like it's a home invasion. And let's see what happens. Deputies say a gunman was killed and a victim was wounded in a home invasion overnight in Onslow County. It happened shortly after 4 a.m. Let's see. The victim told deputies that multiple people broke in through the back door of the apartment. The man then retreated to the back bedroom where deputies say he got a gun. Shots were exchanged, and deputies say both the man who lived there and one of the gunmen were hit. The gunman died later at the Naval Hospital, while the man was shot in the arm. Deputies say the other home invaders ran from the scene before they arrived. Names of those involved in the shooting have not yet been released. So this is another home invasion, and this one happened at 4 a.m. And I'm going to kind of start keeping track of when these things happen, because the last one I did in the last video was at 5:30, so the early morning hours seem to be, at the end of the night for some of these guys, early morning for normal people. A lot of these seem to be happening around that time of the day this time, but the suspect in this one ended up getting killed, so that's what he gets, I guess, for breaking into somebody's house. So let's go to Kulpmont, Pennsylvania, where we have an adult female, Roseann Shannon. That's our victim. She was unharmed. And our suspect is 44-year-old Melanee Brosh, another female. Well, I think this is going to be the first one I've done that's been a female-female. This is a home invasion. A female breaking in and a female that was doing the shooting to get her out. State police are investigating a shooting in Northumberland County. Troopers say Melanee Brosh broke into a home along North 5th Street around 4:30 a.m. Another home invasion, 4:30 a.m. Once inside, Brosh threatened and assaulted Roseann Shannon, who then fired a handgun, hitting Brosh in the leg. Brosh is in custody facing aggravated assault and related charges. So the female home invader gets shot by the female homeowner. I've done quite a few of these. I think this is the first time I've seen that where it's been female on female. I've seen female break in, but it's a guy shooting them. I don't think I've seen a female on female. Maybe I have, but I don't recall it. All right, this is our last one, and it looks like we're back to Houston, Texas, which honestly, if you follow my videos, I think Houston is by far the city that I cover the most of these defensive use of a firearm incidents with. Because literally almost every time there's one, and this one there's two of them. This is another, we're going to go back, this is another home invasion. We got, our victim was unharmed. We got two suspects. One was an adult male that was killed, and the other one it doesn't say. And this says it's a developing story, and the details may change. Okay, the shooting reportedly happened at about 4:30 p.m. Okay, so here's a home invasion at 4:30 p.m. at an apartment complex off Richmond Avenue. According to HPD, the incident appeared to have stemmed from a family dispute gone wrong. Police said in that shooting, 2 people were inside an apartment and 2 others were trying to break in. Investigators said 2 people inside the building tried to barricade the door, but the suspects kicked it down. HPD said someone in the apartment had a gun and shot the 2 people breaking in. A man was dead when police arrived, and a suspect had multiple gunshot wounds and was taken to the hospital. While we don't know the exact relationship, police say it appears to be a family issue. Okay, so this started off as a home invasion, It's still a home invasion, even if it's a family person, if they're breaking in when they're not supposed to be. But they said this one was going to be, the story might change on this one, but it sounds like, two guys wanted in and they got shot, and one of them ended up passing away in the incident. Well, that's all I have for you today. But remember, if the criminal does not fear the police, a judge, or prison, he must be taught to fear his victims.